from the midfielder, and they are stunned. And this wonderful bunch, these upstarts, with the advantage in the jungle because of this supreme strike from Javon Basco.
For his first of the season as well. Great technique. The touch, it looked like it had gotten away from him at first, but hit it at the precise time to get the dip.
Can Portmore United put a dent in this massive run that Mount Pleasant is on? Can they, despite all odds going against Portmore United? Can they? And will Racing continue their unbeaten streak? They are in tremendous form at this present moment. Welcome back. Welcome back, people, to MG Sports TV. Thank you very much again. This is actually another preview show of Jamaica Premier League game week 30. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. This won't be a long one. I'll make this one as short and spicy as ever. Now, this the first game I touch on. No, is Portmore United versus Mount Pleasant. This one is an interesting one because for those who don't know, Portmore United and Mount Pleasant, they have met in like about 13 meetings. 13 meetings. And this meeting goes far back as 2019. And in that, Portmore has only registered 3 wins. That have to change. That need to change at some point in time. The longer you take to beat a team, it's actually technically the closer you are in beating that team. So you can be hopeful. You can pray, but the form that Mount Pleasant is in right now is unbelievable. And the form that Portmore United is in right now is kind of drastic. So I think most things that have favor Portmore United at this present moment. Even though the last game that we played was in Mount Pleasant, and Mount Pleasant won that 1-0. That game played at Jacksal, I should say, and they won that 1-0. Goal courtesy of Shaquille Bradford. Overall good performance from Portmore United, but can Portmore United get the job done this time around? And you know what? Surprise, surprise. I'm going to say Portmore United win 1-0. This has been a long while since I've backed Portmore United to get a win. And for some reason, I think that they can most definitely get this one over the line. Next up, we have on the agenda, we have Tivoli Garden versus Montego. Now, this in itself is an interesting game. 2 teams who technically have struggled for form. Technically. But I do think that Tivoli is in a little bit of better form than Montego. A little bit. Just a little bit of better form than Montego. Not much. As I said, a little bit. Small margins. Last 5 games, both teams met. It's all in favor of Tivoli Garden. Tivoli Garden won 3, and the other 2 were 0-0 draw. Last game that they played was a 0-0 draw. So you can say, based off the form that both teams are on, technically this game could be going for a 0-0 draw as well. But I know what, for this time or this purpose, I'm going to go with a Tivoli to nick it. This is going to definitely set up the table to be quite interesting, because that would put Tivoli up closer to Racing United. And we all know Racing United is the team that's chasing Waterhouse. But I will definitely give that go in favor of Tivoli for this one. Montego, they are a little bit clear of the relegation battle, so I don't think they have that to worry about. Next on the agenda we have is Arnett Garden versus Dunbeholden. This game will be played at the Anthony Sparling Sports Complex. This is a Thursday game, people. This is a Thursday game, people. Now, all fingers pointing towards Arnett Garden, for Arnett Garden win. We saw Arnett Garden versus Racing in the last game, and Arnett Garden definitely had to pull something out of the bag, out of the lucky charm bag, to equalize or get a point out of that game. But Dunbeholden, the last two games that they have played, they have lost. They lost to Racing, they lost to Mount Pleasant. I do believe that this is an opportunity, or this is something that they'd want to bounce back. But unfortunately, they are not necessarily at home, in which they played far better. Arnett Garden is at home. Arnett Garden, last 5 meetings between Arnett Garden and Dunbeholden only registered 1 win, and that was in 2023, and they won that game 4-3. It's all been Arnett Garden since then. I have to say I'm still going to go with Arnett Garden for this one. I'm going to go a 2-1 in favor of Arnett Garden. Next up here on the agenda, we have Aberview versus Chapleton, and this definitely should be an interesting one. No, this 11 versus 12, 11 versus 12. Now, I do believe that Chapleton both teams want to get this point, because it will clear them off in some sense, or some level of comfort away from the relegation battle, and this in itself is quite difficult. Aberview finding their footing, not fully as yet, but it is coming along. It is most definitely coming along. Last game between both teams, Chapleton Maroon won it. Well, the last 2 games, Chapleton Maroon registered it. So far it's 2-2. Before that, the previous 2 before that was Aberview winning those 2 games. So for this one, I'm looking at a draw, and I'm going to say a 2-2 draw. For this one, it should be that should be quite an interesting game, you know. That should be quite an interesting game, you know. The last game that they played, as I said, as I mentioned, there's something there. Next up, we have on the agenda is Waterhouse versus Racing. Racing, as I mentioned, who's in really good form right now, a punchy top 6. This is the possibility where the teams then decide who make it to top 6. Possibility may lie here. Waterhouse versus Racing. Both teams are tied on the same amount of points. So you know that they will be pushing. Both teams will be pushing to get that point. I do think this game is pointing in all directions to a draw. For some reason, I just think that this game is pointing in all directions for a draw. Level on points, just goal difference separating them right now. Racing scored 31 goal, conceding 35. Waterhouse scoring 29, conceding 31. So you see, the goal difference is Waterhouse -2, Racing -4. So definitely you can see that both teams are quite close where that is concerned. I think Waterhouse won the last the last game was actually a draw. Atafrai Bygrave scored, and Andre Campbell scored as well. I think no, I'm gonna go for a draw as well. I'm gonna go for another draw here. I'm gonna go for a 1-1 draw. Just like the previous result. I'm gonna go for 1-1 draw. I stay on the fence for that one. One that kind of hard to decide. No, Racing is so unpredictable. They'll just turn up on us, blow your type park, just like that. Final game of the match that we have is Vere United versus Montego Bay. This game we played down at Wembley Wembley Center of Excellence. And in itself, this game in itself is quite an interesting one. Now remember that Montego Bay slash Vere, this is actually Vere's opening game of the season. I think this is Vere's opening game of the season, in which Montego Bay really put them to the swords. This is an opportunity for them to bounce back, but will they? That is the big question. Will they bounce back? The truth is, we don't know. I do though. I'm still gonna go in favor of Montego Bay. The last couple of meetings they have been the favorite team. They defeated Vere 4-1 down at Vere, and then they defeated Vere at Montego Bay 2-0. That was the last game that they played, and that game in itself could have ended massively. First goal was from Brian Brown in 42nd minute. And second goal from Demario Phillips in 90 plus 1 minute. Brilliant goal from Brian Brown was basically beating the high line and then finishing quite nice finish. And Demario Phillips was a brilliant layer from Shenil Thomas, and he really power shot that one. I think I'm going to go for Moby as well for this one. Luckily for Vere, Umberland won't be playing as well, so they don't have that stress on their back. I do think overall it should be, in some sense, less stress for Vere. But I do think that they may be conceded to, knowing that Moby might be ahead of them right. Well, not Moby is ahead of them right now, where certain things is considered. I'm gonna go Montego B. I'm gonna go Montego B 3-1. It's interesting still because the last time out Vere versus Umberland, they played some good football. But this is not Umberland. This is Moby is a different gravy. It's gonna be an interesting one. Anyways, tell me what you think in the comment section. I won't go any further from here. Drop your predictions in the comment section, people. And tell us what you think. Tell us what you think, people, and I'll see you guys again. Until next time, MG Sports TV. We are out. God bless. Boom. You know what I mean? Outside. Out.